Hello and welcome to this live Q&A masterclass session for our big live free masterclass, which we are doing across Formula Botanica, and we are teaching thousands of people how to make this amazing botanical face cream. My name is Anna Green and I am the Education Manager at Formula Botanica, and we are the leading online cosmetic formulation school. Today we are live across several platforms, including Facebook and our big, large Facebook group as well, which is called the Skincare Entrepreneur Mastermind. I am very excited because we are running several live Q&As, which give you exclusive access to our education team. I manage our education team, and today we are joined by two members of the education team called Barbara and Beatriz. Welcome, both of you. You can tell people what you do in a minute. We're just going to let people join. I can see people joining, which is very, very exciting. Let us know in the chats where you are in the world. If you are watching us live, I can see the numbers creeping up, which is fabulous. We are really, really excited to be here talking to you about this masterclass that we're teaching. And this live session is all about making your emulsion botanical. And we're going to recap on where we are in the masterclass. I can see people joining us from Egypt and Dubai, which is amazing. Good evening from Italy. How fabulous. It's always my favorite part, seeing where people are in the world. We have a truly international audience, which is fabulous. Whilst we have more people joining us, Beatriz and Barbara, could you let us know who you are and what you do in the education team? Can you start us off, please, Barbara?
Hello, everyone. This is Barbara. I'm one of the tutors at Formula Botanica. I joined about 4 years ago as a tutor. I'm a keen herbalist and formulator and a cook. And I often combine cooking with formulating, or I see many analogies between one and the other. And I'm grading projects for our students at Formula Botanica, and I answer their questions in the forum. So they have actually similar questions to what you are asking about emulsifiers, about all sorts of ingredients, about hydrosol, essential oils, and similar questions. So we're here today to tell you or inspire you what else you can use perhaps, or what are your options in formulating a similar cream or the same cream. Beatriz?
Hello, everyone. I'm Beatriz. I am the Technical Research Coordinator at Formula Botanica. I am a pharmacist, and I've been working with research for about 10 years now. And I review the technical content and also help the tutors, help the students. And this is me.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, both of you. And as I've already said, as part of this amazing masterclass that we were running that is entirely free, you get 3 live Q&A sessions with the education team. And the education team is incredibly busy, usually taking care of our 16,000 students. So this is a really rare opportunity for you to speak to the education team directly. So we hope that you really enjoy these sessions. We've already had 1 session, so this is session number 2, where we are talking about now making your emulsion botanical. So if you are here with us live today, there is a really good chance that you are signed up already to the masterclass that we are running, and we hope that you are enjoying the lessons. Lesson 5 is now available for you. It has been available today, so you can watch lesson 5 where we are adding botanicals to the emulsion. And what we are making in this masterclass is this beautiful orange themed emulsion. It's a face cream, it smells beautiful, and that is what we're talking about today. All the questions that we're going to be covering today will be about the masterclass, which I hope that you're all really excited to take part in. We absolutely love teaching this masterclass. I can see so many of you live now, which is absolutely incredible. And I'm just going to recap some of the countries where you're all joining from, because I'm quite bowled over by the amount of people that we've got live. So we've got Canada, UK, Brazil, Rwanda, London, Kenya, Netherlands. Wow. Really, really exciting to have so many people joining us live, and we are having so much fun teaching this masterclass for you. As I said, lesson 5 is now available. If you haven't registered for the masterclass but you still want to take part, there is still time, so please do go ahead and log in. Make sure that you register and catch up on the previous lessons that are available. As I said, we're up to lesson 5. So fabulous that so many people are joining. I'm losing track of quite how many countries we're on, but I can see India, Turkey, Florida, Uruguay. Incredible. Lots and lots of people from around the world. So just to recap, today we will be covering questions. Barbara and Beatriz are going to answer your questions on how to add botanical extracts to your face cream. And this is really the most exciting part of formulating, because now we get to sort of customize the face cream and add in really exciting ingredients. As you can see on the graphic below, available in your study area now, what have we got, ladies, in the study area? Our amazing free workbook. Make sure you go and download it. It's available to download. It is entirely free. And a lot of the things that we'll be talking about in terms of customizing the face cream are in the workbook. So if you haven't downloaded it already, please do go and take a look at that, because we will talk a lot about the content in the workbook. It is an incredible resource for you. So please do make sure that you use it, because a lot of time and effort went into it. And we really want you to make the most of the masterclass. Okay, fabulous. So we're going to get started with some questions. We can see so many of you live now. I'm absolutely bowled over. We're going to get through as many questions as we can today about making your botanical face cream customized and adding botanicals to it. So we've got lots and lots of questions already coming in. Do pop your questions in the chat if you have them, and we are going to cover as many as we can. So first of all, Beatriz and Barbara, I want to start with a question about the emulsifier that we use and substitutions, because we get many questions on this topic. So we used an emulsifier in this botanical face cream called Vegetal or Montanov 68. And we get lots of questions about, if they can't find that specific emulsifier, can they substitute it with something else? So I'm going to hand over to you, Barbara, because I know that you have lots of experience telling our students about different emulsifiers they can use on the courses.
So first I would start that many students find some synthetic emulsifiers easily available. And so obviously once you have already bought them, go ahead and use them in the appropriate dosage that the supplier recommends. But if you want an emulsion that is truly natural, then we would suggest using either Montanov or some of the natural options that we have. And I actually brought a few to show you, because they come in different form or texture. Montanov 68, I don't know if you see this, if I show you, they come in little pellets, white pellets like this. But there are different emulsifiers that you can use as well. And that's, for example, polyaquil W2W. And I'll just show you with a spoon. These are little white, waxy pellets or flakes. I'm not sure if that's visible, but it has like a slightly different form. And there are many other amulium, but it would have to be looked up and find the INCI name, because I don't see an INCI name here. I just put to know that it's amulium. And there are different that come in powders, just pure powder that need to be dissolved. So each emulsifier may come in a different form, and there also might be a different required dosage. Some even come as liquid, like this is lysolecithin, and it's dark. So I think it could even be used without heating it. Just like this polyaquil LW, which is a thick, viscous liquid again. So they all are different, and you need to research on them individually. But some of the Montanov range can be replaced, but you might come or get a different result. So in terms of viscosity or skin feel, the result might be different, or the cream will not thicken as much. But go ahead and experiment if you already bought the other Montanov, for example. So these are some of the replacements or possible substitutions.
Yes, and just to add to that, Barbara, we've chosen Vegetal or Montanov 68 because it's quite easy to work with. It's a good beginner emulsifier. It's natural. We specialize in natural and organic formulation. However, as Barbara's already said, if you have something that you've already purchased that will work as a standalone emulsifier, which means that it will emulsify oil and water by itself without needing to add in extra ingredients, then feel free to use it. You just need to check the specification on your specific ingredient. We can't possibly go through every single emulsifier that exists in the world and tell you how to use it, because that would take hours and hours and hours in itself, because there are so many different possibilities. But if you download the workbook, we recommend several different emulsifiers in the workbook. So we recommend Olive M1000, which again is very simple to work with. We recommend Polyapple 2W, which Barbara's mentioned as well. And you need to just check the usage guidelines where you purchased your ingredient from. So they, your supplier will be able to say to you the usage guidelines for that emulsifier. And hopefully that will help you to substitute the emulsifiers as well.
And I don't want to overwhelm the students, but each emulsifier, because the question often comes that which is the best one? There is no best emulsifier because they each can emulsify a different amount of oils. So some will come and create a light lotion for your body, while other can create a thick cream for your dry skin in winter. So again, it's not one is better than the other. They just create different products. So this is something our students experiment with, and they try to find the sweet spot, the something that they like the best.
Yes, and once you hopefully take part in this masterclass and catch the formulation bug, you will be using lots of different emulsifiers, because you will carry on learning and you will carry on experimenting. So it's a fantastic it's a fantastic opportunity for you to carry on experimenting with different emulsifiers. But if you're brand new to formulating, I would highly recommend that you, if you can get hold of it, that you Google the INCI name for Montanov or Vegetal, which we've included in your workbook. Use the suppliers that we've recommended, try and get hold of it, and stick to the formula that we've given you. That will be the easiest way if you are brand new. And then, as Barbara has said, there is an infinite world of emulsifiers for you to explore afterwards. On the topic of emulsifiers, Beatriz, we have a hot question which we get asked all the time. Can they use beeswax as an emulsifier? Will that work for this cream?
Unfortunately not. Beeswax is not an emulsifier, it is a thickener. So it doesn't emulsify oil and water and won't bring them both together. So if you try to use beeswax, your emulsion will separate and you have different phases. It won't be a lovely cream like the one we teach you in the masterclass. So unfortunately, you can't use beeswax as an emulsifier. That's a shame.
It won't work. We have had this question many times over the years. It will not provide you with a stable cream that you can use. The emulsifier is really important. It's bringing together that oil and that water phase, and it's really important that you use something that is suitable for that. Another question that we get a lot is cetyl alcohol and cetyl alcohol the same? We get that one an awful lot.
Also, they are not emulsifiers, they are co-emulsifiers, so they help stabilize the emulsion, but they aren't standalone emulsifiers, so they need another component that will help bring oil and water together. This is why sometimes we see emulsifiers that have cetyl alcohol or cetyl alcohol with another component in emulsifiers. So also, you can use them as standalone emulsifiers.
Yes. Yeah, it's really important that you have that standalone emulsifier for it to do its job. And we would highly recommend, if you can, get hold of the Vegetal and use it. It's still available on our Amazon UK storefront. So hopefully somebody in the team, we've got colleagues in the team that will be getting through your chat questions as much as they can. They will be able to post the link there for the Amazon UK storefront. And we've linked as many ingredients and also equipment as we can in there as well. Wow, the numbers are really going up for this live Q&A. So I am very, very excited to see how many people have joined us now. Just a reminder, we are Formula Botanica and we are the world's leading online formulation school for cosmetics. And today you have a rare access to our incredible education team. And we have 2 members of the education team answering your questions about this amazing, beautiful orange botanical face cream that we are learning to make as part of our big free masterclass. And we hope that everybody live is signed up to the masterclass and has accessed your free book. Download it from your study area. It is available for you now. We have, I think it's over 50,000 people joining us in this masterclass this time, which is just incredible. We've got people from around the world all formulating the same botanical face cream. So you are in really, really good company. Okay, let's get through some more questions because there's plenty of them. So in lesson 5, which is available now in your study area, we looked at making your botanical face cream, adding botanicals to your face cream, essentially. So you've made your base, you've emulsified oil and water with your emulsifier and your orange blossom water. And in this lesson, we add a variety of different extracts. So we add papaya glycerol, we add sea buckthorn CO2 fruit extract, and we add some sweet orange essential oil, which gives a beautiful fragrance. So we're going to have a look at some questions that you have about specifically these botanical ingredients. And one common question that we get is, we can't get access to the papaya glycerol. What can we add instead?
So you can add any other glyceride if you wish to, or if you can obtain another one, or you can simply add pure glycerin, but you might not get the same, the extract or the benefit of the papaya in it. But even glycerin itself will provide certain benefits because it's a humectant. It will help actually stabilize the product from evaporating, the water evaporating, and it will help keep your skin moisturized and hydrated. And I, for example, made a purple glyceride from mallow leaves. And mallow in water, in warm water, behaves like this. It's turquoise color, and it's very good for drinking when you have a cough because it soothes the, what is it called? Doesn't matter. It's good for cough. And I use this glyceride even for my children when they have a cough. So you can take it internally, and it's the same that you can use for your cosmetics instead of the papaya glyceride, for example. Some of the common ones available are, for example, from cucumber. And this is quite easily available from suppliers of cosmetic ingredients.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can also use any other water-soluble extracts too, even if they aren't glycerides, water infusions, or other types of water-soluble extracts that are available for you.
Yes, absolutely. So I was just going to say, in lesson 5, Lorraine talks you through the fact that she adds 2 different types of extracts into the cream. So obviously within the cream, we're blending oil and water, and we've added the glycerol, which is a water-based extract, and we've added the sea buckthorn, which is an oil-based extract. And she talks a little bit about the solubility. But when you're looking at replacements, you want to look at replacing like for like. So if you're replacing the glycerol, you want to replace it with something else that is also very similar. Cucumber glyceride is quite widely available. It's something that we recommended before, so that's a nice one for you to look at. But you can look at anything that you can get, and if you really can't find anything, plain glycerin is also absolutely fine to add. It's not botanical, it's not quite as exciting, but it's still fine for you to add it to the cream if that's all that you can get hold of. We have recommended that before as well. Fabulous. There's a question about the sea buckthorn CO2 extract that we use, and somebody has asked, what is the difference between the CO2 extract and just a normal cold pressed sea buckthorn oil? Will it make a difference if they use a cold pressed oil in the cream? You know, is there a significant difference between the two?
You can use both. Of course, you can just use sea buckthorn oil. There's no problem. They are just made with different processes. So CO2 extract will have some different compounds, but you can also benefit from the plain cold process oil. So there's no problem in substituting one for another in this case.
Yeah.
And I would just add that some CO2 extracts often have a rosemary extract added to them, so they work as an additional antioxidant for the formula.
Yeah.
We add this for the skin benefit, but also the CO2 extract has a very potent color. So if you watch the lesson, you will see that the cream literally transforms from something that's quite white and plain and boring to this beautiful orange color because of the sea buckthorn. So if you substitute it for a different oil, there may be a slight variation in the color. We've gone for this because it really is quite spectacular when you add it. But you could even add things like rosehip oil, can be quite bright orange depending on the type of rosehip oil that you have. And as we've already said, the sea buckthorn as well. So there's lots of different options to add. We've used it for color and skin benefit. So the CO2 will give you the best color, and it really is quite beautiful when you add it in. But there are other options as well. So that's great. Fabulous. Let's have a look at the questions again. So we've had another question that is very common, and that is, what does INCI mean? We talk about INCI a lot in the masterclass. So if somebody could recap for me what INCI means.
So INCI is the abbreviation for International Nomenclature of Cosmetic Ingredients. And so these must be the same for the same ingredients, but then the trade names that are commonly used in the industry are different. So you might heard of Olivem 1000, but the INCI name is cetearyl olivate and sorbitan olivate, if I'm not wrong. And so you need to check, because in different places of the world, the same INCI name can have a different trade name, just like Vegetal and Montano 68, you know, will have different names in the, so these two may appear in different parts of the world. And sometimes, you know, no, there is no Vegetal available, there's only Montano, but that is the same thing. Okay.
Yeah. And again, I'm going to sound a bit like a broken record throughout this live, but forgive me, because it really is important that you download your work. But we put information about INCI and INCI names of the ingredients that we recommend in the workbook for you. So that is a lot of the heavy lifting done for you already if you go and download that. So that is great. I can see some other questions about substitutions from ingredients that have been used previously in previous lessons. So somebody has asked, can they use rose water in place of the orange blossom, for example?
Yes, yes, of course. Any other hydrosol. And if you don't have a hydrosol, you can even try just pure distilled water. It just won't have the same amazing scent. And you can also use an infusion, like when you make tea, herbal tea, you steep distilled water though, when it's freshly boiled, and add some herbs. But that can make a difference in the color, because the hydrosols are always just transparent. They look like pure water, whereas the infusions can have even orangey or brownish color, and that may result in a color that you may not like in the end. But the benefit will come from the herbs infused anyway.
Yes. Yeah. We would recommend, again, if you're brand new, try and just stick to the ingredients that we've recommended, because we've themed everything. We've chosen them specifically for you. If you are a little bit more advanced and you've already been experimenting with formulations, some of the things that Barbara says are lots of fun to do, and you can have a go at those as well. So yes, you can definitely use rose water or lavender water or anything else. It will just change the scent of the final cream. We've obviously themed our cream to be orange and has orangey sort of ingredients with it as well. Okay, more questions. Somebody has asked, would a bought extract be better than homemade extract? So obviously you've been talking a little bit, Barbara, about the fact that you can make your own extracts if you want to. Is a bought extract better than something you could make yourself, or is there any preference?
So if you later decide to sell your products and make them for the public, it's better to have a bought product, because it's usually you usually get it with the proper documentation, with the so-called MSDS, which is Material Safety Data Sheet. And this is what your safety assessor will require if you want to sell it. But if you're just making things for yourself, and if it's difficult or expensive to obtain, then I would say if you grow it in your garden, you know, there are no pesticides, it's completely organic, then in that case, if it's just for your own use, for your family, for your friends, for yourself, I would say in that case, maybe a homemade product, a homemade extract is even better than the store-bought, because it's cheaper and easily available. So it depends who you are making the products for.
Yeah. And as you go more professional in your formulating journey, you want to buy extracts because they are standardized, and you have the same results if you buy the same extracts more than one time. Because when they are homemade, sometimes the herbs they produce different compounds depending on the season, on the weather, and any other factors. So sometimes you can have different amounts of the active compounds in your homemade extract. So this can be nice too, but well, there are differences, and you can balance and choose what you want to do.
Yes, absolutely. The third ingredient that Lorraine adds in lesson 5, and if you haven't watched the lessons and you haven't yet caught up with lesson 5, it is available for you now in the Masterclass study area, and we highly recommend that you go and take a look. These lessons are only 10 minutes, so they are quite easy to catch up on. So if you haven't watched any of the lessons, you can still catch up with plenty of time. The third ingredient that Lorraine adds in this lesson is the orange essential oil. And we had a question about, can an essential oil be considered a botanical extract?
Yeah, in a way, because you are using steam distillation or other processes to extract the volatile compounds from the plants. So yes, it is an extract, but we don't usually call them extracts, because usually we call extracts when we use some kind of solvent like glycerin, alcohol, or oils. So yes, they are extracts, but we don't use to call them like extracts. They are essential oils.
Yes, and it adds a beautiful fragrance to the cream, but they also have their own particular skin benefits, which Lorraine talks about in the lesson. But if you don't want to use essential oils, you don't have to include this. This isn't mandatory for the cream. It is a very nice touch. We've also had people ask about substituting the essential oil. Again, you can look at substitutions. We've chosen this one to fit in with the sort of theme of the face cream, but there are many, many options out there for you. So it's an optional extra should you want it. And we obviously talk to you within the lessons about the safety of essential oils, making sure that you work with them safely, and you're working within dermal limits as well. So all of that is covered within the lessons for you, which is fantastic. Okay. We've talked about this a little bit already, but what is the difference between a herbal infusion and a hydrosol?
So as I mentioned before, the infusion usually gets the color from the herbs, whereas hydrosol stays transparent or has no color. And it's also the huge difference in the strength, because the amount of herbs for the water used is very, very different. I have a copper still, and a stainless steel still, and the amount of herbs that I used for that amount of water was just much bigger. So imagine like the mint tea you make with like standard amount of a couple of leaves that you use, and you would maybe use 20 times that many leaves for the hydrosol. So even the strength is so much stronger. And when I was distilling mint last summer, the scent of mint, like the mouthwash, could be smelled in the whole house because the scent is so strong. So the potency is much different, and the color. So the hydrosol will not have an impact on the final color of the product. While if you make some strong infusion with some herbs, it could be nearly dark brown, and it also depends on how long you're steeping the herbs there. But that color might affect negatively the product color, because it might look like it's already gone bad.
Yes, absolutely. So just a reminder then, I can see lots more people have joined since I last checked, and we've got an amazing amount of people on live with us, which is just incredible. We've got people taking part in this masterclass around the world. But just a reminder, this is your second live Q&A session with tutors from our education team. And we are talking to you about how to customize your face cream and make it botanical. So we have added botanical extracts. We are on lesson 5 of our big free masterclass. We are so excited to see everybody taking part. There are lots and lots of workbook selfies as well on our Facebook page. And I would really urge you, if you haven't yet downloaded your workbook, go and download it, take a selfie with your workbook. You can print it and you can bind it like we have. Take a selfie with it and post it in our Facebook group. We would love to see it. You can also find us on Instagram. The hashtag is Formula Botanica. Let us know that you're taking part in the masterclass. We absolutely love to see everybody taking part and talking about what they're doing. So far, we have added 3 different botanical extracts or botanical ingredients, which are plant-based ingredients, to our botanical face cream. The face cream has an orange theme, and we've added some beautiful papaya glycerol, some sea buckthorn CO2 extracts, and an orange essential oil. And that is all available for you right now in lesson 5 of the masterclass. If you haven't signed up and you're just watching this and you think, have I got time to sign up? You're still in time to sign up and to catch up, because the lessons, even though there's 5 lessons, they're only 10 minutes each. Super simple, super easy. They are sort of like a little mini Netflix series. You can get through it in less than an hour so far. You can catch up and you can join us making this beautiful botanical face cream. Fabulous. I can see lots more questions coming in. I'm just going to have a quick scroll through the chat. We've covered quite a lot about emulsifiers. I can still see some emulsifier questions coming in. For emulsifiers, I highly recommend that everybody downloads the workbook, because we have some alternatives if you can't get hold of the Vegetal or the Montanov 68. Lorraine will also cover alternatives in lesson 8, I believe, as well, which is coming soon. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. And also at the beginning of this live, if you want to catch up on the replay, we spent a whole sort of 5-10 minutes, I think, talking about emulsifiers. So please do go back and watch that again. Let's have a look. Denise has asked, is there a way to learn the different benefits that essential oils have? Well, I would say, Denise, join us at Formula Botanica, because we teach you all the different benefits of essential oils, and we provide our students with lots of amazing resources. But would you have anything to add to that, Beatriz or Barbara?
You need to study each oil, because there's no other way. You have to read and make your research. But as Anna said, we provide you with lots of materials in our courses. So we try to gather some information to make your life easier. So,
and we also recommend some reading materials, like what you can further read.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's beyond the scope of this masterclass, unfortunately, Denise, because we're focused on teaching you the sort of art of emulsification and how to make face cream. But, you know, all of our students get in-depth knowledge on essential oils. So, you know, anytime that you want to, feel free to join us and start learning. There's also lots of information on our blog as well, Denise, which hopefully somebody in the team can add to the chat, because the blog really is a wealth of information there. So if you're looking for free, accessible information, we recommend that you keep up to date with our blog, that you make sure you're signed up to our newsletters, and you keep hearing from us, because then you will be able to, to see what we're up to and what we're writing about.
And we actually have quite many aromatherapists and like holistic practitioners in the groups. And I know we have soap makers and perfumists or perfumery experts. And I know these all, when they join us, they just see that how the study will open you another door that opens another couple of doors. And then I think this is the case for everybody, because I see in the community how we mutually enrich one another, because you never know what the other person knows. And for me as well, I came as a lay person. I'm not a chemist. And I just love cooking, and I could see a difference. And I was trying to solve a problem of my daughter with her skin, and I was making the salve, and that helped because I was using calendula in it. And so I joined Formula Botanicas because I wanted to make some product that was less greasy than the balms and salves. So I tried to learn how to make an emulsion. And so it opened another door, and I then learned more about essential oils. And you see, this is my library, and there are like 4 or 5 floors of all these books that are actually closely related to formulating and herbs and herbalism and hydrosols and essential oils. So your library might grow exponentially once you join the clan, because you will just love learning more about it, because it's like never-ending learning path. And that's what I love about it.
Yes. We love learning as well, and all the Formula Botanica team are always learning from each other as well, which is fabulous. And my bookcase isn't quite as impressive as Barbara's, but I also have a big bookcase full of books about essential oils and botanical ingredients and everything else, because it is, once you discover the formulation bug, you will be forever wanting to learn and explore and do more and more. This is an interesting question. So we've had somebody ask, if someone is concerned about phototoxicity of the orange, would neroli essential oil be a good substitute? We do talk about this in lesson 5. Lorraine covers it for you. The essential oil that we've chosen is not phototoxic, so you do not need to worry about that. But yeah, either of you have anything to add?
No, some citrus oils are phototoxic, but this is not the case of sweet orange oil, so you don't have to worry about this. Some other citrus oils like mandarin oil, lime oil, I think, are phototoxic, but not sweet orange, so you don't need to worry to substitute it. And of course, neroli oil is a very expensive oil, so if this is the reason you want to substitute orange for neroli, you don't need to.
No, it is more expensive. I mean, it smells beautiful as well, but they both smell lovely. Orange oil is also lovely, so yeah.
So it's usually the expressed citrus oils that might be phototoxic. And if you get hold of steam distilled citrus oils, then those are not phototoxic. And bergamot, for example, if it's one of the most phototoxic oils, you can try to find FCF version, which is bergaptan free, and those are those that are not phototoxic.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Again, we've had another question about substitutions. So just to reiterate, because obviously we can't cover every single available ingredient in the world. There's so many different natural ingredients that you can get really excited about formulating with. We've selected a handful for this botanical face cream, but you can really, there's no limit to the different things that you can use. Make sure that you have downloaded your workbook and you have alternatives listed in here for you for the different categories of ingredients that we use. Make sure that you stay tuned for lesson 8, which will be available really soon. And there we talk about substitutions as well. So we've tried to give you as much help as possible. We want you to focus on the principles of emulsification and the idea of bringing oil and water together rather than just the individual ingredients. Today, we're talking about the botanical ingredients that you can get really excited about, like this beautiful sea buckthorn, which is just a beautiful ingredient. but it's the masterclass is about you learning to make a face cream, and you can customize that face cream with all sorts of different ingredients. So we hope that helps. Fabulous. Let's have a look. There's a question here. It's not necessarily about botanicals, but we get quite a few questions about sanitizing equipment and the kinds of things that you can use. So we cover this already. We've covered this already in the past lessons. So we do recommend that you go back and you have a look. We don't recommend that you use Milton, which is a sterilizing solution used for babies' bottles for formulating equipment. It has quite an interesting smell, Milton. Having had 2 children, I can tell you that it's not really very pleasant. But we talk about using alcohol for sanitizing your equipment. It won't be sterile, but it will be sanitized. And again, go back and recap on the lessons, because we've already covered some of this for you, how to prepare the equipment and make sure that you're ready to formulate. So that has already been covered for you. Let's have a look. What else is there?
I found one question that was about alcohol extracts in the base emulsion.
Yeah.
So the question is if you can use it. Well, you can give it a try, but I would keep the amount again very low, because alcohol can interfere with some emulsifiers. So some people like using propolis, for example, and that is usually solved in or dissolved in alcohol, very strong alcohol. So if you have that, you can try to use a few drops, but then weigh them like 0.4 grams or something in this case, and you can see how that works. But alcohol, again, can interfere, so tiny amounts only in emulsions.
Yes. This is an interesting question because it's about preservation. Now, a heads up and a bit of a top tip. The next lesson that will be available is exclusively about preservation. Lorraine will talk to you about how to preserve your botanical face cream, because you have not done that yet. And we will cover some of the reasons why we are so passionate about making sure that products are well preserved. But the question here is, if I make a cream or body butter with shea, cocoa, baobab, add essential oils and vitamin E, how long would it generally last without a preservative? So it sounds as if they're not using any water. We are using water-based ingredients in our cream, which is why we're really, really passionate about making sure that it's well preserved. But if they're not using any water and they're just making an anhydrous, which means water-free product, how long could they expect it to last?
Well, I would say it could be a year, but it would depend on the storage conditions and on the packaging. Because as long as you use it after the shower with damp hands and you introduce some moisture into the product, you can spoil it very quickly and contamination can develop. So it would depend on several factors, as always. So the more you learn, the more you will answer these questions like it depends.
Yes.
Exactly.
It depends indeed. We have lots and lots of different body butter formulations and balm formulations on our blog. Again, I'm sure somebody from the team will be able to share that in the chat. So if you want to start with those types of formulations, we've very specifically chosen to teach you an emulsion as part of the masterclass. A, because it's really exciting. Look how pretty it is. I just love it. But B, because lots of people are scared of making an emulsion. They're scared of doing something that requires, preservation. And we want to break down that barrier for people and say, actually, everybody can do this. Everybody can formulate, and everybody can make this beautiful botanical face cream, which is what we're covering in our masterclass. So don't be afraid of it. We want you to have a go. But if you also want to make different formulas that don't contain water, that are sort of anhydrous body butters, that kind of thing, we've got lots and lots of formulas on the blog for you. So do go and take a look. Okay. Just having a look through.
There's one good question, if I can interrupt. Or no, go ahead. I'll ask it afterwards.
Okay. Somebody's asked, can we use 100% hydrosol, or are we supposed to mix it with distilled water? We've already covered this one a little bit, but can we just reiterate for people? This is the hydrosol that we used in the actual formula. This is orange hydrosol, orange floral water. But can they use distilled water? Can they mix?
Yeah, no problem. You can use 100% hydrosol. You can mix it with water if you find the scent too strong. It's up to you. It's important that it's water.
The distilled water.
Yeah, distilled water.
Fabulous. Okay, Barbara, I'll let you ask the question that you saw. I'm not sure if I'm going to find it, but I'll have a look for it and see if I can see it.
So the question was, if you don't have area to formulate at home, what advice can you give? Because I know many of us actually start in the kitchen. And it was my case as well. I didn't have any special separate area for work. So I just, removed everything from my kitchen unit, and I was working there. I disinfected it, and I even made my first soaps in the kitchen. So I had to send everybody away, and I was working there. So now I'm lucky to have a separate area, but it doesn't have a sink. But I can keep all my ingredients there. But our colleague Brooke just had one little bag where she stored all her first necessary pieces of equipment and some few oils, and she could handle that with just a little bit of storage space. And you can start simple with a few ingredients and a few tools and a few herbs. Just like you have a pantry, you have a few herbs, you have some flowers or I don't know, whatever you keep in the pantry. So you would just keep a few extra oils for cosmetic purposes and some emulsifiers and hydrosols maybe. So
yes. Yeah. Brooke has become infamous for her lab in a bag. There is a live somewhere that Lorraine and Brooke did a few days ago on the equipment that is, you don't need much equipment at all to take part in the masterclass. And Brooke has this little bag that she gets out and shows you that you really don't need lots and lots of expensive equipment to get started formulating. It really is simple. Everybody can have a go. You don't need anything fancy to get started. So yeah, if you haven't watched that live, do go and have a look for that, because it is brilliant, really. This is a lovely question. Are the ingredients used in the class vegan friendly?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All of them.
They're all natural and they are all vegan friendly. We don't use any animal derived ingredients in this specific formula. We've done that very purposefully to make sure that it is open to as many people as possible. We want everybody to take part and formulate their own beautiful botanical face cream. And we believe that formulation is fun, easy, empowering, and we want to open it up to as many people as possible. We know that lots of people now are vegan, and so we haven't included any animal derived ingredients. I have to say there's not that many animal derived ingredients that sort of get used anymore in the cosmetics industry. A lot of them have been removed, but beeswax is going to be one that if you're making something like a balm or a lip balm or something like that, you might come across. But everything in the botanical face cream, everything in the masterclass is vegan. So you are good to go. We hope that you will take part. Okay. Got a question about packaging. Where do we get the jars to store the cream?
Well, I would say the suppliers that supply cosmetic ingredients often can also provide packaging. But I know of a few suppliers that are only focused on cosmetic packaging. So if you just Google some, you will certainly find a couple that are focused on the packaging only. But then you need to, let's say, make your own decision whether you are that you really want to use only glass, or if you want to use recycled plastic because it's lighter and cheaper to transfer. If it needs to travel from one part of the world to the other, then it would cost depending on the weight, and glass is much heavier. And there are many other options. So whether you want airless pump bottles, or if you want open wide mouth jars, so aluminium jars or tubes. So there are many types, sizes, and colors even. So you need to research on these and find some that are not too far away from you, because again, shipping costs something, especially these days.
Yes, And we have included some packaging options in our Amazon storefronts. I've seen the links pinging past several times during this live Q&A. So please do go and take a look at those. But also, if you've got a jar that you've previously used for a face cream jar that you want to reuse for the purposes of this masterclass, that would be acceptable. Just make sure that you sort of clean it, put it through the dishwasher, make sure that you use some alcohol on it, and you can reuse it for this purpose. Brooke talks about that in the live Q&A that she does with Lorraine in terms of equipment. So don't feel that you have to spend lots of money on fancy packaging, but it's important that the packaging is clean before you put your face cream in. Please don't put it in a dirty pot, otherwise it will not last because you're adding in extra contaminants and nobody needs that.
Even the food jars like these that I have for cooking things and for preserves, then you can like sanitize them, wash them properly, and even put your cream in them because they would be safe.
Yes.
As long as
this is a good question here from Kat. So far, we've talked about liquid botanical extracts. So the sea buckthorn is a liquid oil, and the papaya glycerol is like a thick viscous glycerin-based extract. But can you add powders like aloe vera, neem, hibiscus, rose, petal, fenugreek, and the like? lots of different options there. Can we add powders to our botanical face cream?
So first of all, you need to know if your powder is just a powdered herb or if it's an extract, because these are different. And if it is an extract, you need to know if it is soluble in oil or in water. And usually powder extracts are more concentrated, so you need to rely on your supplier's material to see the usage rates. But yes, you can use powder extracts. But if you are just using powdered herbs, they won't be soluble. So you have these tiny particles in your cream, and you feel like this grainy texture. So it's better to look for powder extracts if you want to use them.
Yes.
Fantastic. Unless you want a scrub, because if you want a facial scrub, then go ahead, add any powder and use it for, exfoliation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, just a reminder then, because we've been on for over 50 minutes already. We are the Formula Botanica education team. My name is Anna Green. I am the education manager, and I have been joined by two members of the education team today for this live Q&A. Our team is usually extremely busy teaching over 16,000 students, marking assignments, doing everyday creation of content for students, and for our blog and everything else. So this is a really rare opportunity for you to ask questions directly to the education team, and we have answered quite a lot already. We're answering questions on this, which is our botanical face cream that we are making as part of our free masterclass that has well over 50,000 people now joining us and taking part in these lessons. Lesson 5 is available for you now in your study area. It is not too late to register. If you haven't started, you are not too late to catch up. There are 5 around about 10-minute lessons for you to watch. They are available for you to watch on demand. So please do sign up to the masterclass. Our colleagues will leave the links if you haven't already. If you have signed up, please make sure that you go and download your workbook. And I've just lost the comment because I've been chatting, and this moves really fast, the chat. I am still learning how to keep an eye on this. But somebody asked about the workbook and how many pages you get in the workbook. The workbook is entirely a free resource for you, and it has more information and more learning in this free workbook than many paid classes that I have seen online. So please do make sure that you go and download it, because it is packed full of value. It's over 30 pages long. So you get a really, really amazing resource. So please do go and download it. It's packed full of information. It talks about a lot of the things that we've talked about today, and it will really help you. And don't forget, if you have downloaded it, snap a selfie with it and make sure that you tag us either in our Facebook groups or on Instagram, and use the hashtag Formula Botanica, because our social media team absolutely love to see your selfies, and actually the education team too do as well. We love to see it. So that's great. Let's have a look. We'll sort of see if there's any sort of final questions here that we can cover. As I said, this moves very, very fast. I'm just going to put this one up because how lovely is this comment? Thank you, team. You're amazing. Well, thank you for watching. I can't see your name, unfortunately, but we love it when so many people join us. This has been an incredible session with so many people on live. And I can tell that everybody's really excited about making the botanical face cream and taking part in the masterclass, which is what we want. So thank you so much. Just going through and seeing if there's anything else that we can cover. Quick one here. So it says this particular formulation is 100 grams. Yes, we have given you the formula to make 100 grams of cream. And in your study area, you have a separate resource which gives you a shopping list, and that gives you enough ingredients to make the cream 3 times. So 300 total grams of cream is what we've included in the shopping list for you. So again, make sure that you are downloading all the resources that we give you, because it covers so many of the questions that you have asked today. Okay. This is a nice one. We'll sort of finish on this one. This one says, can you share your favorite resources to learn more about botanical extracts? Barbara has a whole
way too many. There are way too many. And there's a book on hydrosols. There are a few books on essential oils, a few books on, they're in my Slovak language, like phytotherapy for doctors. So it mentions all the separate herbs and how they benefit. So even though these are meant for ingestion, I know that they also mention why it helps the skin, because there are herbs like agrimony or calendula, and you know they're very good if you hurt your skin or if you have a scar. And we know rosehip oil is good for scars, for pregnant women when they have stretch marks and so on. So there's way too many. There's Power of the Seed about carrier oils. Way too many. And once you start researching, you never stop, and then your budget is really in danger. That was my case. You know, I would never think of investing that much money in the books, but I never regretted it, because you know, at least I feel smarter. I look smarter in the in the Zoom meetings.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. Me too. I use lots of books. As I am a pharmacist, I like to read pharmacognosy books because they go into the classes of active compounds you can find in different families or genus of plants. So they are a little bit more advanced, but there are lots of excellent books, as Barbara showed you. So there are lots of excellent resources.
Yes, and I'm going to do a quick plug, because Formula Botanica obviously has all of our courses, which are packed full of information, which will help you learn everything you need to know about botanical ingredients. But also we have an amazing membership site, which is called the Lab at Formula Botanica. And that's my particular baby, because that's why I joined Formula Botanica, was to make that a reality. And Beatriz works very, very hard providing resources in there. We have some amazing resources in terms of research to really help people. So just a quick plug for what we do, because we offer you so much in terms of value. Can everybody please that is on live let us know what number lesson you have watched? So if you're on lesson 2, pop us a 2 in the chat. If you're on lesson 5, amazing, that's where we are today. Lesson 5 is available. Pop us a 5 in the chat. Let us know what lesson you have watched so far. What's the latest lesson that you are on? We would love to know, just before we sort of head off from the call, where you are. Lots of people saying lesson 5 already. You get a gold star if you are on lesson 5, because that is absolutely incredible. I can see these pinging through. Lesson 2, lesson 5, lesson 4. Lots of people on lesson 5. I am so impressed. That is incredible. So many of you are ultra keen to get through the lessons. And, lesson 5 was available today and you've already watched it. So gold star for you. If you haven't caught up yet and you're on lesson 2 or lesson 3, please don't worry. You still have plenty of time to catch up. I'm very, very impressed with how many people are commenting. It is just ping, 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 ping in the chat. Amazing. It is absolutely fantastic to see so many of you taking part. The numbers on this live have been incredible throughout. So thank you for everybody who has joined us. I'm really, really very impressed. Just to recap then, we have talked to you about different botanical ingredients that you can add to your botanical face cream. And we are on lesson 5 of our big free masterclass. And we talked about water-based extracts and oil-based extracts and also essential oils that you can add to your cream. So we hope that it has been really helpful, that it has clarified some of your doubts. Again, a final reminder to please download your workbook and get your resources. And a big, big thank you to my amazing team. And I'm biased, obviously, because they are my team, but we love the education team. And thank you so much, Beatriz and Barbara, for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule, taking care of over 16,000 students, creating content to come and do this live Q&A masterclass. This is number 2. There will be a third live Q&A as part of this masterclass coming up soon. And we hope that you have really enjoyed today's session. Thank you so much for taking part with us. Lessons 1 to 5 are now available for you if you are signed up. If you are not signed up, you still have time to register and catch up, because as we've said, these are 10-minute lessons and they are short but packed full of value and information for you. So thank you so much. I can see so many people saying that they've watched all 5 lessons, so incredible. And if you are not quite there yet, please do catch up, because they are only 10 minutes each. So thank you, everyone. We're going to sign off because we have been talking for over an hour now and we're going to have a little rest. But thank you, everybody, for joining us, and make sure you stay tuned for the third live Q&A, which will not involve me, but it will have other members of the education team and our community manager, Lisa. So thank you so much, everyone, and we're going to sign off. Bye.
Bye-bye.